It is amazing how, at certain moments in life, something seemingly simple can become the turning point between doubt and unshakable faith. In Medjugorje, a place marked by countless testimonies of miracles and profound conversions, many go out of curiosity, others even with a certain air of skepticism. But there is something that cannot be explained with human words: the real and palpable presence of the divine in that place. In this video, you will learn about a breathtaking story that has already transformed the lives and shaken the spiritual foundations of many who have been there. People who carried the weight of disbelief, spiritual fatigue, emptiness, and who, after a moment of prayer and a simple touch of the statue of Our Lady on Apparition Hill, were never the same again. What could have happened there? Coincidence? Suggestion? Or a true miracle? I warn you. This video is not for watching without distraction. And before continuing, write here in the comments the names of the people and relatives who need prayer. Let's include each name in our main prayer with the Rosary, calling for the intercession of the Blessed Virgin. The story begins with a small group of pilgrims who, despite being in Medjugorje physically, were absent spiritually. The trip had been arranged by insistence from family members, or even by a last attempt to find some meaning in life. They climbed the mountain tiredly, complaining about the strong sun, the stone floor, the pain in their feet, as if the whole experience were just another futile effort. But when they arrived in front of the statue of Our Lady, something began to change. It wasn't immediate, nor with great mystical revelations. It was something subtle, silent, but profound. The first impact came when one of the visitors touched the statue disdainfully, almost to prove that he wouldn't feel anything. But at that moment, a single tear ran down his face. He tried to hide it, but he couldn't. His heart was beginning to be touched, not by an object, but by something invisible that emanated from that place. And then the movement that no one expected began. One by one, the other pilgrims approached the image of Our Lady. Some knelt. Others simply closed their eyes and placed their hands on the statue. And almost all of them, without understanding how or why, were overcome by an emotion so strong that they could barely explain it. A woman fell to her knees and began to pray out loud, after years of not even remembering the last time she had said a sincere prayer. A man, who arrived at the mountain saying that he didn't believe in anything, began to sob like a child when he felt an inexplicable heat in his hands and chest. And another young woman, who had tried to take her own life months before, remained silent for almost an hour, staring at the image of Mary, and then said that something had been taken from her heart. How can this be explained rationally? It is at this point in the story that we come across the question that never stops. What really happens in Medjugorje? Are they just human emotions amplified by the environment? Or is it the Mother of God herself touching the depths of those wounded hearts? Regardless of the explanation one tries to give, the fact is that no one came back from that mountain the same way they arrived. The changes were visible. People who previously barely spoke to their children started calling them every day. Couples on the verge of divorce started talking again. Young people who were immersed in addictions made the decision to radically change their lives. And it all started there. With a touch. A gesture of faith, even if small. Even if still full of doubts. The most impressive thing is that this transformation did not end there. One of the people in that group, previously a staunch critic of the church, began to attend daily Mass upon returning home. Another, who had avoided any form of religion for years, began to organize moments of prayer in her own home. And there were even those who, after that silent encounter with Our Lady, felt such a strong call to charity that they began to dedicate part of their time to visiting hospitals and bringing comfort to the sick. How can such a change be explained? How can we deny that heaven touched earth at that moment? What happened on that mountain is something that science will never be able to measure. It was a personal, intimate encounter between each soul and the maternal love of the Virgin Mary. She did not appear with thunder and lightning. She did not speak out loud. But she did what every mother does. She welcomed, cleaned wounds, and pointed the way back home. And perhaps that is what many of us need today. A moment of silence. A gesture of faith. A step towards the mountain of our sorrows. Because there, up above, there is a mother who awaits us, with open arms and a heart burning with love. We often ask ourselves what faith really is. Is it simply believing without seeing? Or is it trusting even when everything around us screams that there is no solution? In Medjugorje, we see the living answer to this question. Faith is abandonment into the hands of God. It is the yes given even in the midst of pain, doubt, and the dark night of the soul. And it is not a theoretical faith, the kind you read about in books. It is a faith that is lived in the flesh, on bended knees, in tears shed before the image of Our Lady, when there is no longer any human strength. And you, how is your faith today? Has it been just a pretty idea kept in the back of a drawer, or is it a flame that you feed every day with prayer and trust? Have you knelt before God recently, even if you didn't feel like it? Have you surrendered your anguish without demanding immediate answers? Perhaps this is the time to return to the essentials, to allow heaven to touch your heart, not with noise, but with the gentleness of a presence that transforms everything. Faith is not about always feeling, it is about remaining. Devotion, when true, is not superstition or empty ritualism. It is an expression of sincere love and deep trust. It is the heart that finds shelter in Mary's lap and rests there like a child who, even without understanding, knows that it is safe. And how many people have forgotten this? We live running after practical solutions, immediate answers, but we forget to look up, to be silent, to pray with our hearts. In Medjugorje, thousands of people testify that, by opening themselves to Marian devotion, their lives have gained new meaning. And you? When was the last time you prayed an entire rosary with your heart? That you lit a candle not out of obligation, but as a sign of hope? That you fasted not for a diet, but for conversion? Mary does not ask for anything impossible, only that we return to her Son. She is a path, not a destination. Have you ever thought about what would happen if today were the day you met God again? Are you prepared? Are you willing to start over? And now I ask you, how is your prayer life? How many times do you run after human solutions without first kneeling before God? Do you also need to climb your own mountain and touch Mary's heart? Maybe you don't need to be physically in Medjugorje, but you do need to be spiritually. In every prayer, in every rosary, in every act of forgiveness and charity, Mary is present. So forgive more. Pray more. Revisit the preaching of the gospel, practice peace, embrace conversion. And if you know someone who needs a miracle, write that person's name in the comments right now so we can include them in our rosary prayers. And before I end this video, I want to know, what do you think about this topic? Do you believe that something supernatural really happens in Medjugorje? Have you ever had an experience of faith like this, where the simple became extraordinary? Write here in the comments. Let's share testimonies and strengthen our prayer community. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any stories that feed the soul and rekindle faith. Until the next video, And may Our Lady cover you with her mantle of love and protection.